The Cowardly Lion was much pleased to hear that the Wicked Witch had been melted by a bucket of water, and Dorothy at once unlocked the gate of his prison and set him free. They went in together to the castle, where Dorothy's first act was to call all the Winkies together and tell them that they were no longer slaves. There was great rejoicing among the yellow Winkies, for they had been made to work hard during many years for the Wicked Witch, who had always treated them with great cruelty. They kept this day as a holiday then and ever after, and spent the time in feasting and dancing. The Cowardly Lion said, "If our friends, the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman, were only with us, I should be quite happy." Dorothy anxiously asked, "Don't you suppose we could rescue them?" The Lion replied, "We can try." They called the yellow Winkies and asked if they would help to rescue their friends. The Winkies gladly agreed to assist Dorothy, who had freed them from bondage. Dorothy chose several Winkies who looked knowledgeable, and they all set off together. They journeyed throughout the day and continued into the next until they reached the rocky plain where the Tin Woodman lay, battered and bent. They found the Tin Woodman with his axe nearby, the blade rusted and the handle broken off short. The Winkies gently lifted the Tin Woodman and carried him back to the yellow castle. Dorothy shed a few tears for her old friend, feeling sad for his plight, while the Lion watched with a sober expression, feeling sorry for his companion. Once they reached the castle, Dorothy turned to the Winkies and asked, "Are any of your people tinsmiths?" They replied, "Oh, yes. Some of us are very good tinsmiths." Dorothy instructed the Winkies, "Then bring them to me." The tinsmiths arrived with their tools in baskets. Dorothy asked them, "Can you straighten out the dents in the Tin Woodman and repair the broken parts?" After examining him carefully, the tinsmiths confidently responded that they could restore him to his former self. The tinsmiths worked tirelessly for 3 days and 4 nights in a large yellow room of the castle, hammering, twisting, bending, soldering, polishing, and pounding on the Tin Woodman until he was restored to his original form and his joints functioned properly again. Finally, the Tin Woodman walked into Dorothy's room and expressed his gratitude for rescuing him. Overcome with joy, he shed tears, and Dorothy carefully wiped them away with her apron to prevent rusting his joints. As Dorothy joyfully cried at the reunion with her old friend, her tears flowed freely. The Lion, feeling emotional too, used the tip of his tail to wipe his eyes until it became wet, forcing him to step outside and dry it in the sun. "If we only had the Scarecrow with us again," said the Tin Woodman when Dorothy had finished telling him everything that had happened, "I should be quite happy." "We must try to find him," said the girl. So she called the Winkies to help her, and they walked all that day and part of the next until they came to the tall tree in the branches of which the winged monkeys had tossed the Scarecrow's clothes. It was a very tall tree, and the trunk was so smooth that no one could climb it. But the Woodman said at once, "I'll chop it down, and then we can get the Scarecrow's clothes." While the tinsmiths were repairing the Woodman, a goldsmith among the Winkies made a new axe handle of solid gold and fitted it to the Woodman's axe, replacing the old broken handle. As soon as he had spoken, the Tin Woodman began to chop, and soon the tree fell over with a crash, causing the Scarecrow's clothes to tumble out of the branches onto the ground. Dorothy picked up the clothes and had the Winkies carry them back to the castle, where they were filled with clean straw. And behold, there was the Scarecrow, as good as ever, thanking them repeatedly for saving him. Now that they were reunited, Dorothy and her friends spent a few joyful days at the Yellow Castle, where they found everything they needed to feel comfortable. One day the girl thought of Aunt Em and said, "We must go back to Oz and claim his promise." "Yes," said the Woodman, "at last I shall get my heart." "And I shall get my brains," added the Scarecrow joyfully. "And I shall get my courage," said the Lion thoughtfully. Dorothy claps her hands and exclaims, "And I shall get back to Kansas." She enthusiastically proposes, "Oh, let us start for the Emerald City tomorrow." The group agrees. The next day, the travelers gather the Winkies to bid farewell. The Winkies, who have grown fond of the Tin Woodman, plead with him to stay and rule over the yellow land of the West. Accepting their departure, the Winkies present gifts, golden collars for Toto and the lion, a diamond-studded bracelet for Dorothy, a gold-headed walking stick for the Scarecrow, and a silver oil can inlaid with gold for the Tin Woodman. Each traveler delivers a kind speech to the Winkies, expressing their gratitude. They shake hands warmly, enduring the gesture until their arms ache. In the witch's cupboard, Dorothy fills her basket with food and discovers the golden cap. It fits her perfectly, and although she is unaware of its charm, she finds it pretty and decides to wear it along with her sunbonnet in the basket. Prepared for their journey, the travelers begin their trek to the Emerald City. The Winkies cheer for them, offering 3 cheers and many warm wishes for the journey ahead.